Hi everybody, welcome. Tammy from Tammy's Homesteading Crafts. Today we are out in the garden and we are going to be doing our October garden tour, which will be our final garden tour because when you see the garden it's pretty rough, and this is going to be the last tour that we're going to have for the garden. It's pretty much closed down. Okay, so before we get started, I just want to welcome everybody to my YouTube channel. I appreciate you stopping by. I want to welcome all of the new subscribers that I've had over the last couple of months. I appreciate all of you that are subscribing to my channel. For those of you who are new to this video, if this is your first one, welcome, and I hope you enjoy the content. If you have not subscribed, please consider doing so. It does benefit me by you subscribing to my YouTube channel. And also I want to welcome and thank all of the old subscribers that I have and people who've been here from the beginning. I really appreciate coming back each week and watching the videos that I put on. Okay, so let's get started with the tour. So the first thing I want to talk about is just to talk, today's video we're going to go through and show the garden, what's still left of the garden to harvest. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about what I'm going to be doing with the garden to get it ready for the fall. I will also link down in the description below my garden winterization video that I did last year. It's not something that I need to do every year. I do the same thing every year, so I'll just link that down below if any of you are looking for what I do to winterize my garden. But I will just talk about some of the things that I'm going to do. Okay, so let's get into the tour. Okay, so the first thing we have is our eggplants. We have a couple of eggplants here. Not sure we're going to get very many eggplants. There's flowers coming on them, but I think it's going to be... Oops, my finger got in the way. Sorry about that. Not sure it's going to actually give me any more than what I have. These ones are pretty small. As you can see right there, they're pretty small. Not sure they're going to get a whole lot bigger. And I mean, I have new sprouts and stuff coming. I don't think they're going to make it. It's getting too cold in the season for them to really do anything. But I got a couple of eggplant off of them. I have another one up there that has quite a few on it that I'll be able to pick off. But yeah, they were free from the neighbor, so just whatever I was able to get. I'll show you my pots that I had my carrots in. I will leave the dirt in those this year. I won't take it out. I'll just add new dirt and fertilize them really well for the spring when I go to plant them. The same with the that I had my shallots in. I'll clean out all of the weeds and just go from there. And then this one also had my lettuce in it, and I'll clean that out there too. This is the other eggplant that I have. It has, see that one? There's got a couple of, is there only one? I guess there's, oh no, there's another one down there. Those two will actually grow, but it's got flowers and everything, and I don't think all those flowers are going to actually make an eggplant. They take a long time to grow. So I'm not sure I'll get another eggplant or not. My strawberries are doing really, really well. I've got a lot of runners going out, and I need to get them into a pot so that they can grow. I would like to get them into my tower here and see if I can't get strawberries to grow in the tower. Strawberries are a two-season thing. Once you, if you don't get new strawberries in your row of strawberries, you don't end up having strawberries the next year. The plants get too old and they just won't produce strawberries. So I really need to get out here and get all of those runners into pots and let them start growing, and then possibly get them into my tiers. I have 2 of those. I would like to really get them going so that they will actually have strawberries next year. I hope. That's the plan. Okay, my green beans, as along the fence, you can see that they are pretty much done. They were giving me a ton of green beans. I just pretty much got sick of the green beans and I started pulling them out. So green beans are done. Just got to clean up the rest of the fence there and get the rest of the green beans off that, but the green beans are pretty much done. As you can see, tomatoes. They're starting to die. We've got some new flowers on them, but not much that's going to produce much of anything. But the plants are pretty much dead. They're done for the season, so I'm going to pick off what tomatoes I still have that are good and get them in. I have actually made, today will be my third batch of tomato with my paste tomatoes there that I have. I have my San Marineros and then also my alpacas. Got quite a few that are still green that hopefully will form, but I'll still need to pick some of the ones that I have. They're just falling off the branches. The branches are just they're just wilting, getting bad. So these will be, once I pick the rest of the tomatoes off these, some of the small ones really won't do much. It's been so cold. It's not good warm enough for them to really grow. The ones that are big enough might turn red if I pick them green and put them in the house, but they're not going to get really any bigger. So the ones that have some small tomatoes on them, I'll probably just cut the branches and just let all the nutrients go to the ones that are bigger. Now my peppers. These are those little sweet peppers that you can get in the grocery store in the bags, the tricolored. They start out green, and then as you can see over here, I have 3 of them, they turn to orange. Some of them are turned orange there. These are finally starting to produce peppers and getting pretty full with peppers. Here's a bunch of orange ones here that I just have to pick. I'm going to take these and use them in my freezer, and I'm going to just chop them up and put peppers and onions in the freezer. So these will go until they are so we have a frost. So I'll be able to keep the peppers till we have a frost. I have my bigger green peppers over here, still doing relatively well. Again, don't know if the new sprouts on them will do a whole lot, but they will still keep growing. There's quite a few that are smaller on those. I have 2 plants here and 1 up at the house. So those are my peppers that will keep going, and I'll get some stuff on them. The blueberry bushes, of course, are done for the season. Starting to get a little tinted where the leaves are turning color. Yeah, they're done. Of course, my rhubarb, still producing a ton of rhubarb. I'll do another good pick of this and try to get some rhubarb for the fall, and before I have to let it go for the whole season. Raspberries are actually doing really well. As you can see, this one's got a lot of berries on there that haven't turned red yet. These ones have a lot of red ones on them that I have to pick. I haven't been out here in 2 or 3 days, and I have a lot of red berries to pick. Look at these blackberries. Look how huge those are. You see that? That is huge. Those are the biggest blackberries I've ever seen. They are huge. But again, my blackberries are going. I got to get them picked. I had to pick the ones up. Branches were growing over the fence and onto the ground outside, and my dog apparently loves blackberries and was eating them off the blackberry bush. So I had to pick them up so that they were out of her way and she couldn't pick them off. But that's one of the things I have to do today, is to pick my berries. There's some up there. But I have a ton of berries that are green. I'm hoping they will still produce. But, I mean, they're big right now as green, and then they're getting huger, as if that's even a word, as they ripen. So, yeah, looking forward to getting some nice big blackberries. I'll make a blackberry pie once I get them all. I'm not getting many, but yeah, I'll make a blackberry pie once I get that done. And I totally forgot to talk about the herbs. They have been buried under all of the raspberry bushes here in the corner. They're just going to town. Once I pick my raspberries and I'm done, I will cut the raspberries back quite a bit. I'm going to have to move these 2 oregano plants. But I didn't get a fourth cutting. I got 3 cuttings out of it. I didn't get a fourth cutting, but it went to seed. Really, really a lot of oregano here. But yeah, so that's where the oregano is, doing really good there. My basil I never actually picked. I cut it off. Actually, I used it, cut it down real good after it went to seed, and put it in the fire one night because we had some mosquitoes, and just trying to see if basil would help keep the mosquitoes from biting us around the fire. Seemed to work. It smelled good when it burnt, but starting to come back, starting to get some new sprouts on it. Really don't need any new sprouts or anything right now. Don't know how much I'm going to get. I'm going to leave it right in there and see if maybe it won't come back again next year. We'll see. If not, I'll just buy new. And then my parsley, of course, I left the seeds drop in there and they will reseed again. But yeah, I got some fresh there. I will cut that up and save that. But this is the other tower that I have to put strawberries in, so I really want to get that loaded up and get the strawberries in there. The other thing that I'm going to do, what I have done every year, is remove my landscape fabric after I've put it down. This is the second year I've put it down. Really do enjoy having it down, because this is what my garden would look like if I did not put the weed fabric down. I've got to get some more weed fabric next year and put weed fabric on that one section. There's only one section here that doesn't have weed fabric on it, and the weeds just grow like crazy in this section. But yeah, so I will pull up the weed fabric again, like I always do. Pull the majority of the big weeds that have grown underneath the weed fabric, because there is a few that just make it. And then I will put down, as usual, my mixture of mulch leaves over the whole entire thing once I take up the weed fabric. That's what I usually do. I will move all of my pots that I have with the dirt in them, I'll move them to the middle, and along with my blueberries, I'll move them to the middle of the garden here where the tomatoes are, and I will get them surrounded with some straw so that those pots don't freeze. But I have the bottoms off them so the water can drain right through and not stay in them and freeze the roots. But yeah, that's pretty much it. It's not going to be a really long video because there's not much in the garden yet to look at. But yeah, that's where we're at. Well guys, that's it for today's video. It was a short one. I really don't have a whole lot to talk about with the garden. There's not a lot left in the garden. We did get a very good garden harvest this year. We got quite a few tomatoes. I was able to make, like I said, 3 batches of ketchup, a batch of salsa, a batch of diced tomatoes, and I still have tomatoes that are growing in the garden, and I've given away quite a few tomatoes just because I have so many of them. My peppers will keep growing. I'll get quite a bit of them. I'll make sure I pull them just before we get a frost, and that way I can save all of those sweet peppers, and they will get chopped up and put into the freezer with some onions to be able to use for peppers and onions for whatever dish I want to use them for. Once I start cleaning up the garden and I get rid of all the tomatoes, I will remove all of the weed fabric that I have down, get that taken away, and lay down a layer of leaves to keep the weeds from being out of control in my garden for the winter. I will also, once I am done with once all of my berries are done producing, or it freezes, I will go and I will cut those berry bushes down quite a bit so that, so that I can keep them under control. They went a little crazy this year and they are huge. Those branches, one of them was halfway into the middle of my garden. I had to cut that one down because I kept tripping over it. But it didn't have any berries on it. But a lot of the new branches that I have that are really long, I have a ton of berries on. But yeah, so that's it for today's video. It really isn't it's not going to be a long one, guys. It's just a short video. There's not much left in the garden. not much left to do for the garden itself other than maintaining, getting it ready for winterizing it. And like I said, I will definitely put in the description below the video that I did last year for winterizing my garden, because I do the same thing every year. I'll show you what I do, picking up the weed fabric and all of that. I will take all of these pots that I have, put them in the middle of the garden, and along with my blueberries in the middle of the garden, and make sure that I keep them together and put, I got a hair in my face, sorry, put them with some straw around them so that they can't freeze for the winter. But yeah, I won't remove the dirt out of these buckets, just kind of keep them there. I'll add to it next year, and put some fertilizer in there with my fish emulsion that I use, fertilize stuff that way. But I hope you guys like my videos when I do the garden videos, because I try to make it so that they're garden videos that people can do that live in apartments that have only porches, where you can grow carrots and peppers and stuff in pots on your porch and be able to have some food, some homegrown food, which is always nice, even if it's just to eat fresh for the season. It's always nice to have that kind of stuff. But I've been doing pots in 5-gallon pails, and you can go to all kinds of different estate sales and different places, even garage sales, and get, a lot of people are getting rid of their older pots. They just don't want them anymore. Trying to get your pots, I try to leave the dirt in them so that I don't have to buy new dirt next year, and just add a little bit to them. Yes, they break down and the dirt goes down a little bit, but it just helps me to not have to spend so much money the next year when I go to fill these pots with dirt. I don't have to go and buy a ton of dirt. I just have to buy a little bit of topsoil, or maybe a mushroom compost or something that I can add to the top layer of my pots, and then feed them really well for 2 or 3 times with the fish emulsion to try to get the nutrients up into the soil so that everything grows. And it's been working really well for me. So, well, I guess that's it. You guys don't need me just to hear me talk about my garden, even though I love my garden. But that's it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and as always, I will see you on the next one. Have a good day. Bye.